My name is Matthew Ndegwa. I come from Nairobi, Kenya, and I work for the Ministry of Health, and that's who referred me here for the Merck Foundation Embryology Training Program. One of the first main challenges to fertility treatment in Kenya would be lack of facilities. We have maybe 10 fertility centers around the country, and all of them are private. We do not have any government funded fertility programs. We have another maybe 10 to 12 embryologists in the country who are unfortunately employed in the private sector. So that means that the people who do not have the money will not get access to those kinds of treatments. We don't have any current fertility training programs provided by the institutions in our country. We have good institutions for gynecology and other medical training fields, but not specifically catered towards infertility. I think another thing that we would benefit the country would be to focus, to get more labs and more trained people in the rural areas, because those are the people who are suffering out of lack of knowledge, because they don't even understand what is the next step to do, and they may resort to traditional medicines and other things that might actually be more hurtful to them in the long run than beneficial. Some of the more traditional remedies would be either looking for a traditional healer, resorting to prayer, or even sometimes using siblings or familial people to carry your child as a surrogate. The Merck Foundation Embryology Training Program is extremely important to me as a step forward in my next path as a career. It's important to my patients because it gives me the grounding, the footwork, the network to be able to easily diagnose what the issues are and provide the best possible treatment possible with the great tools that were provided here that allowed us to learn so many different skills in a very short time frame, but it was well organized and well packed, and there was never a dull moment. It's also going to be very beneficial to our country because I can also go back and train other people and share my knowledge with what I've learned, and that hopefully will lead to spreading of the word, spreading of better techniques in terms of how we perform IUIs, how we diagnose male infertility and also female infertility. And with all that being done, I think in general we'll touch a wider group of people. Some of the more important things that we've learned here are an accurate sperm analysis report, how to perform the tests from the beginning to the end, from the look of it to the morphology, count and concentration, the correct way to perform an IUI from semen sample collection to processing it, and the kind of media that you need to use to get the best outcomes, laboratory conditions as well, just how well and how clean you need to keep the lab to ensure that there's no bacterial contamination coming in from outside or your sample, how to take care of yourself when you're dealing with samples, and how to micromanipulate, cryopreserve the oocytes and the semen, and in effect get very good outcomes when you're thawing them. I think male infertility is probably one of the most unknown things in Kenya, because very few men would be willing to accept that they are infertile. They would be very quick to place the blame on the wife and say that she's the one that's barren, or she doesn't want to have a child with him, and she might be going and having abortions to prevent him from having a child. So I know the awareness is very, very little, it's very low, and there's a pride and a stigma that comes with a man saying that he is infertile. So even if a man does suspect that he might be infertile, it's very unlikely that he would even want to go and confirm those results with a semen analysis. He might just probably prefer to suffer in silence or put the blame on somebody else. My expectations before coming here were very wide. I expected to get hands-on training with some of the best equipment in the world and some of the best trainers in the world, and I believe I definitely got that here. I also thought that the time frame of 3 months was adequate for me to pick up some of the necessary skills that would be helpful to me and my country in the future, and I definitely have picked up a lot of skills, a lot of new techniques, and also made a network of people here that, with the world expanding, I can quickly email or even WhatsApp and get a response back very quickly in terms of any advice or questions that I might have. When I get back to Kenya, one of the first things to do after a quick rest is to get together with some of my colleagues and people in the infertility community as well, who work and practice in the labs, and basically go over what we've learned, kind of give them a short course, and also give them all the referrals that I have, some of the literature that I was able to pick up here, some of the books that are widely available on the internet, and articles that they can read that will also expand on the knowledge that they have, from the simple tests that they can do to ascertain whether it's non-obstructive azoospermia or azoospermic or obstructive azoospermia, to some of the physical diagnosis that you can tell just by looking at some of the samples. It's to go home and share and benefit everybody. I would advise anybody who is looking into the Merck Foundation Embryology Training Program to really jump into it with your both feet. It's an amazing program. It's very informative. It is so practical. It is a life-changing experience for me, for sure. And I would definitely say you would leave here way, way better than you came, in terms of knowledge and your network and what you've just been able to even see physically. It's amazing. Yeah, I would like to send a huge thank you to the Merck Foundation for providing me with this opportunity to come, to learn, to travel, to experience not only a life-changing training course, but to also experience a part of the Indian culture. I also like to thank the Manipal Academy of Higher Education for being so accommodating to us, from the laboratory features to the accommodation to the meal provision to just the general safety and feel of the campus. Everything has been top-notch. I'd also like to thank the Ministry of Health for allowing me the opportunity to come and take up a fellowship, a training program here that was eye-opening. Thank you very much. Kenya.